How do you analyze wholesale deals? In today's video, I'm going to show you all how to comp properties, how to figure out if a property is a deal or not a deal. And I'm actually going to do it by just looking at properties that you may want to wholesale, right? And then I'm going to actually look at wholesale deals that were sent to me from other wholesalers, because now I don't wholesale as much as I used to. I mostly concentrate on flipping and holding rentals. And so now I'm that buyer on these wholesale real estate companies list, and they send me deals. And sometimes I'm all like, how do they, or why do they think this is a deal? You know? And so I just want to take one of these deals and see from the perspective of, okay, if you were wholesaling this deal, you would have to get this property under this contract, under this number, and then sell it at this number. And then also look at it from a perspective of a cash buyer. Okay, I see comps in the area. I can sell it all fixed up for this number. And just to see if these are true deals. If you all have any questions, please let me know. Like this video and comment down below. Okay, so I'm here on this wholesale real estate company's website. And so they send deals on this website. I usually get an email, but on their website, they have a list of their properties for sale. So right here, you can already see it's a good layout on this website. This is actually a good wholesaler in town. But right here, you have a distressed property. And you see that there's trash in the front yard. It needs to be pressured washed. And so I'm already seeing signs of distress. So that's a good sign. But it doesn't look horrible, right? It's not like the roof is caving in or anything like that, which would have been fine if, depending on what they're asking for. But it doesn't seem that horrible right now. Okay, and then they have different photos of the property. So you can see if you want to change up that towel insert or that plastic tub and shower insert, you can do that, and put towel, you can do that, but you have to research your market. So that's another important thing, knowing your market, knowing what things will sell for in your market. So it seems like there's some trash, or is a towel a little broken up over there, and then you have the bedrooms. So this is how you set up a wholesale deal too. You have pictures, you show the signs where distress is happening, and honestly, it's showing, some flooring. Maybe there's some flooring issues here. It's just a bunch of trash in this house, honestly. And I think cosmetically, it's just, but it seems like it has good bones on the property. Now, one thing that I'm noticing here is that the backyard is kind of on a slope. Now, this is not a deal killer, but it does. A lot of homeowners or potential buyers, if you're flipping this property, they do prefer a flatter lot. But depending on where you live, like in this area, it's very hilly, so people are kind of used to it. All right, and then you have more of the kitchen and living room area, nice open floor plan. And so as a buyer, these are good pictures, and it shows that, okay, the structure seems fine, but it's just a bunch of mess, right? And the other thing is, as a wholesaler, this is how you present a deal, right? You have good pictures, you show on different rooms, you show signs of distress, right? Like right here, this wholesaler is showing that, okay, maybe the steps need to be repaired and whatnot. They're showing the front of the house where there's a lot of overgrown landscape that needs to be trimmed down, and things of that nature. Now, here it has the bedrooms, the baths count, the year built, and the square footage. And then they do have the property address that we're going to look up too. And then they have a description. So below half price for a family home in a nice area. And we can do research. But as a wholesaler, these are some of the things that you need to put into your deals, right? And these are some of the things you need to think about when you're presenting deals to cash buyers. So we're just analyzing this right now. It's a killer project. Major pieces are the roof and HVAC. So the bones of the property does need some repair. The roof is definitely a bone of the property that needs repair. The HVAC, but it's a recent enough build that you won't have to worry about structure beyond that. Okay. New floors, paint, and some bathroom and kitchen updates are going to round things out. We're probably going to get a walkthrough Thursday. So, and that's another thing. Once you have a deal and it's a good deal, you can just have one showing and a bunch of investors come out. And this guy, he always has a bunch of investors coming out for their properties. And then they have an estimated amount that they think the property is going to sell for, the ARV, the price that they're looking for, and 142. So 127 is what they're asking for, and they think ARV is 269. They think that you have a good $142,000 spread, but you have to take into account closing costs, commission, and the repairs. And so if you take 269, let's just see based off of their number, right? Let's say I go 269 and I do the 70% rule. Okay? And let's say our repairs are 60,000. All right? Now I'm already down to 128. So essentially I had to get this property at 128,000 to make it work. And it's priced at a 127. Now this property may cost a little bit more, and 70%, you don't always have to follow the rule. You can go a little bit higher, even, especially if you're in a higher price area, or if, it's just super competitive and you need your guys to work, so you can go higher. But let's go to this property in Zillow and look it up. So this is the property. The estimate is 223. So right away, even though you can't trust this, is something that you can consider. But 223,000, and they think 269 is the ARV. 3 beds, 2 baths. Now, one thing that I look at the sale history. So they sold it for 100. They bought it for 129, and the wholesaler is selling it for 127. So it's lower than what they bought it for. It's because they messed up the property, and so they know, okay, I'm not going to get what the appreciation. But even then, like, with the appreciation over the past 5-6 years, you should be able to get more. But now what we're going to do, we're going to go and kind of view where this property was by looking at the map. And so right here, you can see it's in this Windwood Forest in this North Georgia area. All right, Lafayette, Georgia. And then from there, I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to clear all my filters. And at first, I'm just going to look at the sold comps. And we see that this property is 3 beds, 2 baths, and it's under 1,500. But let's go a little bit higher. Let's go 1,750. And then one thing that I like to do, I like to put renovated right here to see if they come up. So right here, this is a renovated property. It's a little bit more square footage, not a little bit, a good amount of square footage more. And it's sold for $244, and it's 4 bedrooms. Also on Zillow, you can just do exact match, so that helps a lot. So I see comps 251 right here, and this looks like it was a flip property, right? And it's a little bit larger than the other house. Now the area might be a little bit different because the other house was newer, but you can see that this property sold for 140, so similar to the other house, and they tried to sell it at 259. So to me, it's saying that their ARV of 269 may be a little bit overpriced because it ended up staying on the market for, not that bad. Okay, 3 months actually. It stayed on the market for about 3 months, and then it went on the contract after about 2 months, and then it actually sold after 2 months. So that's 4 months total. Almost 4 months. Yeah. Is that 4? Yeah, almost 4 months. So 251. And so another thing you can do, you can filter it by years so we can get a better, comp. Another word, we can put remodel right here to see if we see any other interesting comps. Or you don't even have to look at things like that. You can just look at it right here because we know it's in this neighborhood around here. So you're seeing they're selling for 250. You can go newest because you want to see the newest comps. So 250,000. This is actually smaller and it sold for 250,000. So it's closer to that 269 that they're talking about. This sold for 235, 257, but I don't see anything over 260 right now. Okay, this sold for 260, but this looks like almost a new build. Yep, built in 2024. And so you can tell right away that their comp is a little bit overblown, I would say. I say if you fix it up, I would think it's closer to 250 is the ARV for this property right here. So that's something I would, put in my own notes that, okay, the ARV is really closer to 250 for 2 beds around 1310 square footage, even though it's a newer build like 1999, which is not that much newer, but it's newer. And so that's what I would do. Now, comp. Now, let's say you want to understand, I guess you can say rehab. You can add, you can subtract different things to make it work, but it just comes with time. It just comes with time. Smaller houses, if it needs a full rehab, set in near a new roof and essentially a new HVAC. New roof can run you 7 to 10 grand. HVAC can run you 7 to 10 grand. New flooring, you just get the square footage, multiply it by $4 to $5 a square foot. Paint, maybe $3 to $5 a square foot. Kitchen cabinets, appliances. Kitchens are looking anywhere from 10 to 15 for basic upgrade. And then your bathrooms are anywhere from, I would say, 5 to 12 grand. So you just play with those numbers and you can figure out, okay, where I need to go, where I need to offer the seller, right? Because you need to subtract that from essentially the ARV. All right, you all, hope you all enjoyed this video of just me diving in, showing you my screen on how I analyze properties, how I look at wholesale deals, and the perspective from a wholesaler of how they should approach it, and the mind of a buyer who's looking to potentially flip and hold rentals. So hopefully this was helpful for you all. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all later.